Welcome, everyone, to our next installment of Rainbow Covenant Haiku and Art from Sister Sharifa Bernice Meytung-Ma. Today, we're going to continue working our way through my recently published book, Said the Tiger to the Rabbit. Information for picking up a copy can be found in the video description right here. The previous video included an overview of the book sections, a few words from the author, a few helpful definitions, and the back cover description of the book, along with haiku numbers 1 through 3, and the first two paintings, Teeming with Life and Retrieved. You can see all of that in the first video that's also here on our channel. But in today's video, we're going to take a contemplative look at haiku numbers 4 through 7 and the paintings here in Bartram's garden and grid. And so our program is entitled Sitting with Said the Tiger to the Rabbit, haiku 4 through 6, with paintings here in Bartram's garden and grid with me, Sister Sharifa Bernice Meytung-Ma. Let's get started. So what we have first here is the expressionistic painting entitled Here in Bartram's Garden. And what we can do as we start this short journey together through these next works is to just sit contemplatively with the picture, allowing the colors to wash over us, resonate with us in some way. There may be certain areas of the painting that you feel your eye is drawn to. There's also the movement in the painting, the swirls of the colors, the breath of the painting as it moves, as it comes alive for us. We can notice if there are any patterns in the painting that repeats themselves, either patterns of color or patterns of motion. Just take a few moments in silence, in quiet, to feel the painting here in Bartram's garden. And now for the first haiku of this session. And in the book, this is actually haiku number 4. It's the 4th haiku. And it's entitled The Crossing. I'll be reading the haiku aloud from the book itself, which you can join me if you like, if you have a copy of the book already. Otherwise, you can also feel free to read it aloud from the screen. Dear mother and child, mother makes it while child waits. Our truck rambles on. Die Hirschmutter und ihr Kind. Die Mutter schafft es, während das Kind wartet. Unser Wagen zieht weiter. Dear mother and child, mother makes it while child waits. Our truck rambles on. And as I mentioned in the first video, all of the haiku are written in 2 languages, in English with a German translation, and this being, of course, an ode, a thank you to the country that was more or less a second home for myself and my family for nearly 15 years, perhaps more. And so the paintings represent an invitation, and I'm reading from the back of the book, an invitation into a luminous world of color and flow. And then you have the haiku, which together, past, present, and future engages us in conversation. So we have traditionally with a haiku that moment where there's the invitation to experience something in the moment that perhaps you had not experienced before or thought about before. Our next haiku is entitled Search. Covered in moisture, green valley in summer mist, trees lush and dripping, mit Feuchtigkeit bedeckt, das grüne Tal im Sommernebel, Bäume üppig, bewachsen und tropfend nass. Covered in moisture, green valley in summer mist, trees lush and dripping. Next up, we have the painting entitled Grid. And written directly into the painting is the haiku itself. And so as we sit in contemplation of the painting, of the swirls, of the colors, of the movement, again, we allow our eyes to fall on whichever aspect, whichever component of the painting is calling us in the moment. If there's one part of the painting, perhaps it's the center where that brightest of colors is. It could be one part of the painting that just seems to leap out at us or seems to draw us in. It could be the sensation of depth of some parts of the painting that may seem closer to the surface and others deeper within the painting. These are some of the things we can sit with. Perhaps the difference between the stroke of a brush and the movement of pouring the paint onto the canvas. We can experience all of that. Where two colors come together, is there a sense of the color colliding? Or is there a feeling of harmony or absorption? We'll take just a few moments in silence to contemplate the grid. And next is the actual haiku that we saw written onto the canvas. There is the haiku right here in the lower corner of the canvas. And the haiku reads, Grid, living in the grid, where power never fails us, regeneration. Das Leben im Stromnetz, wo uns die Macht nie verfehlt, Erneuerung. Living in the grid, where power never fails us, regeneration. And then lastly, the haiku to incarnate. Manifestation and remanifestation. Buddha's Vijñapti. Erscheinung und Wiedererscheinung. Buddha's Vijñapti. Manifestation and remanifestation. Buddha's Vijñapti. So we've been sitting with these moments of words through the haiku, moments of color and motion through the paintings. Taking a deep breath in for a moment of contemplation of art and of the written and spoken word. And so I thank you for spending some time sitting with this work today, as you have been, and for listening to and looking at and perhaps even joining along. If you, as I said, if you have the book yourself, you could have been reading along with me or looking at the pictures from your own book. I invite you to feel free to subscribe to this channel and be notified of upcoming videos on the next entries in the book. And we will once again, in the next video, we'll be listening to and looking at what the tiger and the rabbit had to say to us, what they have to say. And so be sure to click on the link in the description to order a copy of the book, Set the Tiger to the Rabbit, for yourself or for someone you'd like to share it with. Until the next time we sit together, be well. And thank you for joining me.